Hey, it's Tim.
And it's Amy from GoWithLess. We're glad you're here. In this week's video, we're sharing how our life might change if we won the lottery. It's going to be a fun video. We hope you watch the whole thing.
Every Wednesday here on our channel, we come out with a new video, typically talking about our early retirement or our nomadic lifestyle. In 2015, we left our careers in our late 40s and retired early, and in January of 2020, we sold our home and became full-time nomads.
We hope you'll give today's video a thumbs up if you're interested in early retirement, nomadic living, house sitting, international travel, travel hacking. These are the sort of things we talk about every single Wednesday here, so please subscribe over here. Okay, now Tim and I are together about 24/7, and we have a lot of time to talk together. We take a lot of walks, so just a lot of one-on-one time. And one of the conversations we have over and over is how our life is so wonderful when we're spending $36,000, $40,000 a year. How might our life change if we were to spend any significant amount? Maybe say we won the lottery, which we don't even buy tickets for, so hard to win the lottery. How would our life change? And this video is all about that.
I think a lot of our what-if conversations are sort of in preparation for things changing. So our life has changed so much over the course of the last year with COVID and whatnot, just always changing. And so a lot of our conversations are about that. In the case of this, we've talked about what if we won $10 million? What if we had $10 million extra dollars? Or what if we had $1 million extra dollars?
Dreaming. Yeah, this is not like a plan.
All these sort of scenarios that we just put out there. And so we talked around a lot of things. And for this video, we had a lot of preparatory conversation. What we settled on is the following. What if we had $2.5 extra million that was plopped in our lap? That would actually give us about $100,000 of spending using the 4% rule. So we're just going to assume that, right. So we signed up for it. Pretend we signed up for some annuity that's going to generate $100,000 a year. We have that to spend. And there's this other caveat, and that we're forced to spend it. So this isn't something that we're going to have a list of things here that we won't be doing with this money. And so anyway, so what are those parameters?
We will not be considering taxes on this. We won't be using this for our health care because it could eat up quite a bit of that. It will not be toward our business. So there's all kinds of things we could do to invest in our business. It can't be on that. It can't be saving it or giving it away or giving it to charity or buying homes that generate a cash flow unless it is like your primary home. So it is pure spending. Now, if you've been around for a little while, you know this, but if you're new, Tim and I used to spend $115,000 before 2015. We had a family of 5 and a dog, a big house, and that wasn't savings, that wasn't taxes, that was just our spending. So it's kind of funny that for us that seems like such a huge amount, and it is, but we were actually spending this not too long ago. And I did ask our audience in our Facebook group, our GoWithLess Facebook group, hey, do you have this kind of conversation either out loud or in your head of how would your life look different if you had all the money in the world, if money wasn't an object? And it turns out that 60% of our Facebook group said they think about this as well. So it seems like we're not the only ones.
Yeah, and so also the 5 things that Amy just rattled off, those categories of spending are 5 of the categories that we talk about every month when we discuss our spending.
And utilities is another one.
Utilities was the other one. And so we're targeting spending about $36,000 a year. So I guess overall this would translate for us into $136,000 a year worth of spending. And again, this $100,000 is a special case that we can't spend it on any of the things we just mentioned. And so that's going to leave 5 remaining categories that we talk about on a monthly basis. And we're going to start with the top of those, and that's going to be food and dining. So what would we do?
One of our favorites.
One of our favorite categories. So how would this change, this $100,000, how would it change our food and dining habits?
I do not think that it will change it at all. We already put a high value on food. We cook a lot of our food, but we're really big into dining out, and we don't shy away from going out for special meals. The nice thing about our life now is that going out to eat at a special meal is more of a special treat, like a fine dining one. So maybe we go do something like like something for $12. I'm not talking about that. That's not going to break anyone's, that's not going to break our budget, I should say, but the finer dining. And for us, I think we like that we've scaled that back in our frugal life, and I don't think that I think it's good. I already have a hard time losing weight, and it would make it even harder if we added more fine dining and big meals into our life.
Yeah, when we had special dining all the time, it wasn't special, and so I guess this is something that is just worth noting, is that I don't know that it would change. We also, one of our very favorite things to do when we show up in a new location is go and shop at the grocery stores, just check it out and see what's going on there. And so there's some fun for us that's associated with finding some value in a new grocery store and finding where the deals are and what's cheap. So I don't think that would change.
A couple months ago, we talked about bringing things like Blue Apron services into our life. We've tried now 3 of them. So far, we've settled on, of the 3, we really like Blue Apron the best. That's $80 a week for 4 meals, and that's something that we're looking to maybe bring into our life while we're in the United States. Now, there's a little rule, I guess we should say. This is our plan for our life isn't to be in the United States. We're supposed to be leaving. The COVID situation has us kind of stuck in the United States, but we're planning to go as early as in November and be gone for 10 months a year. So 10 months out of the country, 2 months visiting friends and family, and out we do it, repeat and rinse and repeat. So we're not, so even like doing like a meal service, a Blue Apron, I'm gonna guess we're not gonna be doing that in Lithuania, and that's kind of like a US thing. So we might do that here a little bit, but I think that we're open to doing that, but I really think that we're gonna be doing some cooking, and I don't think it's gonna change that much.
I agree. So the next category where we're open to spending a little more money in this conversation would be entertainment.
Okay, now we love to be entertained. So we volunteered an enormous amount of our time with performing arts when we were home before we became nomads. So we find a lot of value in that. But we like to go to a lot of theater. Well, say we're in Italy. How are we going to go to the theater in Italy? We could go to the opera. I love the opera, and we have done that. Actually, we did the opera for free in Vienna. So I don't have a problem spending money on going to like the ballet, the symphony, the opera, stuff like that. Museums. A lot of these places, the museums specifically, have free days. In some countries, it's just free all the time. So we do enjoy entertainment and going out. And I don't think it's not that we're doing it like 3 times a week. So I don't think that we would need to spend a significant amount toward that in order to be very satisfied.
Yeah, I think there's also some unknowns here. So we haven't spent a lot of time out of the country and doing sightsee sorts of things. So over the course of the last year with COVID, a lot of things have been closed. And so this budget category is sort of an unknown to us, but we don't foresee if we had this extra $100,000 that we would be dumping a lot of money into spending extra on entertainment. Maybe a little bit. But so what we're spending today, we're pretty happy with in this category unless things change substantially.
So I don't see it increasing.
There you go.
Okay, number 3 is shopping. So you may notice Tim and I are not the most fashionable of people, and I used to really turn my nose up at thrift store shopping maybe 10 years ago until I went to a really great thrift store, and I changed my tune completely. And it's hard to go back to spending full price when you have discovered really great consignment or thrift stores. So I think we like the deal.
No, it's not just the deal. I think there's the thrill of the hunt. So there's finding something that's really cool in a thrift store just seems a lot better than
clothes.
Clothes. And so this category is probably for me a place where I might spend a little more money. So I used to spend a lot of money on gadgets where I would buy something, I'd play with it for a month, if that, and maybe I'd spend $300 or $400 on it, and then it just goes in a drawer.
Like
so
a
tech thing that happened regularly with me. That's sort of off the radar. I'm not interested in adding that back to my life, but I do like to refresh my gadgets that I use on a daily basis with some regularity. Cameras and laptops and iPads and phones and stuff like that. So I'm probably on a 3 to 4 year refresh schedule depending on the device, and so I might up that refresh schedule if we added some spending back in this category.
Would you get a drone?
I might get a drone, so that would be a fun toy to have, and that's something I think I might use. And so, but anyway, that might be a toy I'd add.
And I think there's a major consideration that whatever we get, we have to carry it around the world, and so that is a major thing. So if you had to lose your backpack because you're carrying your drone, your backpack is filled with all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Where's the drone gonna go?
Drones are tiny; they're like this big. They're like
you just put it in your pocket.
Yeah, it's the size of a sandwich.
It's the size of a sandwich. Yes. Okay, I don't know. I thought they had like their own little luggage.
Yeah, they're small.
Okay, so I think for me, I don't know that I would change. And if I did want to, because this is a beauty of our nomadic living, everything is fitting into a suitcase. So it's not like we can go on some giant shopping spree and buy 100 pieces of clothing and get into some serious trouble. We only have so much space. So even if we were to go buy retail clothing, it would be not such a huge deal.
That's actually a part of the beauty of our nomadic lifestyle is we don't have any place to put anything. So it's like, so
you can't buy
buying
anything.
Stuff is really, I don't know what you do with stuff, but anyway. That's a perk.
Okay, another category, transportation. Now, we could see an uptick here. We have been very cheap on transportation. One of our highest performing videos was about us taking Flixbus all over Europe. We've done it 2 times. Well, I don't know that we love it. It's really cheap. It's hard to pass up, like going 10 hours for $10 across countries. But it would be nicer, I think, to do the train where you can get up, where you could use the restrooms. A lot of FlixBuses don't even have a restroom. So I think that I would upgrade our travel a little bit. We still have a car. We were planning to sell our car a year ago and become international. So we still have our car. We're planning to sell that when we hit the road full time at the end of this year. And so we're going to go into a car. We don't care about that. But I do think that we would upgrade our experience. It would be like the intra-country stuff, the intra-region. So instead of taking buses, maybe a higher priced train. And then one of the struggles that we have whenever we're booking long flights is, do we want to spend the money or the points to upgrade to a class, to business perhaps? And where we keep coming is like, it's 5 economy tickets or 1 business ticket. And we see this over and over and over. I'm looking for travel, like a full-time job. So we've had a couple exceptions, and we've definitely flown business class some, and that is a really nice experience. But I think unless it's over 8 hours, it's really hard to even consider. And we were going to go from LA, I think it was, from Denver to Tokyo this past year. It got canceled. We were only flying in economy plus on that one.
Yeah, so
That's
I
a
don't
long
know.
flight.
This is just, it's hard to so we have a really hard time with value.
Spending our points.
It doesn't seem like it's a good value to have this 8-hour luxury experience for so much more money or points. So just, it doesn't, so we are really into value, and so this may be a place where it's we would splurge potentially, and I think maybe even for shorter flights like 4 hours, if we were going from LA to New York or something like that, maybe this is something we'd sign up for.
It could be like 5 times the price.
Something worth noting is that there are on occasion, especially with some of the new ways that the airlines are pricing their flights, there could be business class fares that are more affordable, that aren't 4 times as expensive.
That would be different.
That would be different.
That would be different. Like if it was a reasonably priced business class or first class ticket, we certainly would consider it if it was reasonable. If it's 5 times the points or 5 times the cash, I don't think we do that. Like it's hard to do that.
It is really hard.
We have millions and millions of points and miles. Like we shouldn't have such a hard time doing this. We spend our points and miles as carefully as we spend our money. So that's going to leave one giant category that is going to take pretty much all of the $100,000, and that is
lodging, home and lodging. So this is where we would certainly splurge, or we would upgrade our sort of style of travel. This is where we would inflate our lifestyle, and this is something, even we are not magically coming into $100,000 worth or $2.5 million anytime soon, but we're considering inflating our lifestyle currently without the $2.5 million around home and lodging. We just don't think we're necessarily spending enough in this category, and so this is something that
that's a weird sentence. We're not spending enough.
We're not. I don't. So
we're
I think
cheaping out.
We're cheaping out.
Yeah. And a lot of it is we're doing a lot of house sitting. So in 2021, we are doing 8 out of 12 months, 2/3 of the year, we're doing house sitting. We never planned to do that much house sitting. We were planning to do like maybe a month house sit and a month Airbnb, and a month house sit and a month Airbnb. Well, we do house sit after house sit after house sit, and here's the reality: as we've mentioned many times, house sitting is not a vacation. No. It is a humongous responsibility. There are often a lot of chores, and we have a commitment.
I wouldn't say even a lot of chores. There are chores.
There are chores. It's not our own like free retired time to
we
to
have
do
an
whatever.
obligation to the pets. We have an obligation to a home. We have an obligation to homeowners. Amy communicates a lot, so it takes away from the freedom that we signed up for when we chose this lifestyle. House sitting takes away from that, and it has amazing side perks, and we're not suggesting that we're walking away from house sitting. We just think it will be a lesser part of our planning going forward. When we launched our Nomadic plan, which all fell apart with COVID, our plan was to be house sitting in places where it's a little more expensive, Western Europe and here in the States and things like that, and then we were going to actually be paying to be in more affordable places, and we were going to mix it up about half the year in house sits and half the year paying for our situation. And that all fell off. And so we've been in the States so much, we've been in extra house sits, and we're realizing that we probably should have just paid some to be in some Airbnbs and be spending some money to make our life more like we want it to be, more like it's the life we want to be. So this is a place where we would be splurging. Where do you?
And I do want to say that so it's the pets that keep bringing us back to house sitting.
Yeah, we love the pets.
Yeah, the pets. But we want to be able to go away for the weekend or something like that, or have visitors come visit us. We have a lot of friends all over the place, so come and visit us. You can't really do that with house sitting, and so I think that we just want our freedom, and house sitting has wonderful many things, but it does limit our freedom, and so we are recognizing that, and I think that we are going to be be spending a lot more money. Now, that isn't just on short-term rentals, places like Airbnb, but it's also hotels. So as we're still in the United States, and we're still driving, we're on our second loop of the United States here for this, since we've become nomads, if we're driving like a 10-hour day, we just have like a place to sleep. And we're not looking to really upgrade that. It's something like like a Hyatt House or Hyatt Place, a Residence Inn at a Marriott, something like that. We're just looking for a place to spend the night and leave in the morning. That we're not looking to upgrade that experience. It's great. It's totally fine. It's convenient. But we're talking about staying in like the city center, staying in an Instagrammy kind of an Airbnb and spending maybe like $4,000 on that Airbnb in a city like Paris. And another thing is our plans, as Tim had mentioned, our plans were to pay to be in less expensive countries in Southeast Asia, South America, Latin America, Eastern Europe. But we were not ever talking about places like Scandinavia and Switzerland and Tokyo and Australia, places that are significantly cheaper than the United States.
More
significantly,
expensive, not cheaper.
That's exactly. So places that are significant are not. So if the United States were trying to get cheaper than the United States, we're not trying to even. The United States is too expensive. So to try
and all the places that Amy just listed are places we will probably go there. We just, unless again something magic happens with the amount of money that we have, it'll be for short amounts of time.
Like a week.
Like a week.
We really want like a month, maybe 2 months.
Our style of travel is slow travel. We like to go someplace, be there for a month or 6 weeks, and we find that actually helps with our budgeting as well. It fits our lifestyle. So this is something we're going to say that's going to sound sort of counterintuitive to this slow travel sort of model that we have.
I'm going to say before you do this, so that we're going to say that would be about 50 grand of travel in the year. Now we would be mixing the accommodations, the increased accommodations. We love like a Kimpton, so we'd like to stay in a Kimpton in a city center, and we'd love to do upgraded like Airbnb pluses on the road and have these beautiful locations for our videos.
So we would allocate 50,000
would be for that,
100K.
and then of the other 50,000, now that's you.
Got it. So this is what's going to sound counterintuitive. We would sign up for a cruise, and maybe around the world cruise, something like a 180-day cruise. We looked briefly at the prices of these, and there may not be one that comes in for both of us that comes in at 50K.
No.
But the idea would be that we might get on a cruise and go from place to place to place, and we came up with this term. It's sort of like tapas travel, where we get to go poke our toe in a place, see what it's about, and then go on to the next destination. But we sort of have all of our stuff with us in a nice, tight, compact place that we could just go back to and be there every day for half a year or something like that. We think that would really introduce us to a lot of places and just give us a taste of places. This isn't something that we would want to do year after year after year, but it would just be a great way to see some places sort of more in a fast travel style versus our
just dip our toe in, keep going, and then see where we would want to go back for a month or two. Yeah.
Exactly.
So here's what we want to know from you. Are you somebody who's maybe too frugal, and have you identified any place in your life that are you one of the 60% that have had this conversation about you would be open to upgrading your life in some way if you won the lottery? What would you change about your life? And keep the same parameters. So don't say I'm going to buy 10 rental houses and then I'm going to be a billionaire. Like that's not playing by the rules. So play by the rules that how would you actually increase your lifestyle, I guess, your spending.
Inflate your
lifestyle. And we want to know that down below. So with that, we're going to see you next Wednesday.
Adios.